How are you learning to be a better mentor to young women professionals?
I think there's a couple of things that have really kind of bubbled up this year when it comes to mentoring other young women or trying to be a role model. I think one is really, I've rediscovered my appreciation of my female friendships and relationships this year, just because I've had opportunities to spend time with friends I hadn't spent time with in a decade. I've had sort of kind of rekindled friendships with people that for some reason, because our lives were both going in separate directions, we just woke up one day and we're like, oh my gosh, it's been 2 years since we've talked. Can you get on the phone this Friday? And I have such wonderful female friends, and I think supporting each other in whether it's personal lives, professional lives, children, wanting children, there's so much happening right now in this band of sisterhood in our 30s that that's something I try to translate to others that are in their 20s. I think that, that because the 20s was such a decade of being spread out and sprinting and doing different things and kind of losing contact with people and losing touch. And I feel like as I've entered, my third year of my 30s, there's just been this resurgence of grounding and reestablishing friendships and relationships and, hugging someone I hadn't seen in 10 years and she was 6 months pregnant. Like, I think there's so much about that friendship and that female friendship that's important because I think that there's still a lot that women have to face that makes our professional lives more complicated, and you do have to make difficult decisions, and you can't really have it all. Now you can have a lot, and you can have a very rich life personally and professionally, but you also have to be able to make decisions and sacrifice certain things, and that becomes way more clear for me, or at least it did now in my 30s. So I think being able to be open about that to younger women and talk to younger women about that, and not in a lecturing way, but this is my experience, and this has been a real profound year for me, experiencing the growth of my personal and professional lives, and I'm really embracing my role as a woman in a company of mostly women. And so I think it's just translating that where I am now to those that are a bit younger, to just sort of show them where things could or may go.
Do you find that when you share that perspective or give that advice that it surprises them or is different than what they expected you would say?
Possibly. There's been a lot written lately, a lot of articles about this specific topic, but I do think that the trade-offs that women have to make right now are still very real, and some that you don't really see or appreciate necessarily in your early mid-20s, because you've just got out of school, the world is your oyster. I'm not really thinking about my biological clock, or and I'm working hard and loving it, and I've put my heart and soul into it, and then as you get a bit older, the reality hits, and it's like, okay, I need to start making some decisions, because I love what I do, but I also don't want to wake up 10 years from now not having actively made decisions about this part of my life. I think sometimes it's really easy to ignore that personal part of your life when you are an entrepreneur, or you are, have thrown yourself fully into your professional endeavors, but it's important to constantly check in with your personal self. So.